There was an article from Cosmic Book News that alleges, again, this is a rumor, that an insider says that the upcoming Snow White live-action remake is in fact a mess, full of problems, reshoots, and all that stuff.
It's crunch time for Disney right now when they're reshooting everything in Snow White after they got so much backlash. And they've been obviously very tight-lipped about any of the details, but there have been scoopers dropping hints here and there. We covered this last week. Reportedly, Disney's Snow White is doing something different with the poison apple, and the film was also praised for being great. That is word for word what they said. That's a scoop from Daniel RPK. But a different scooper who goes by Empire City Box Office refuted this claim, saying, as I said months ago, that it was in trouble before they moved it back a year. It actually is testing poorly, and those involved don't have much hope for it. The film is a mess and not working despite reshoots. So they're not going to scrap it, but definitely seems like a bad situation for them right now. It also says they dropped an executive who was the head of their live action adaptation films recently.
Correct.
At the company. Who was that person?
I don't remember the name, but that was fairly recent. I don't know if we covered it, but it might have come up as a supplemental in one of the things that we talked about. The biggest win that could possibly happen for people, if you are a tried and true die-hard culture warrior, which I could never bring myself to be, to care that much about so much of this stuff beyond the analytical perspective, the best thing that could happen was get this thing dumped straight to Disney Plus. It will never happen, but that
budget is too high to justify that.
I mean, they spent $200 million on Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Like the biggest win you could possibly have would be to see this thing go straight to Disney Plus.
No, I think they've got to commit to the bit at this point. They have no choice. But it's still a ways away. But the film, I was confused why they're screen testing it if it's not done yet and they're still shooting it. Why would that happen?
Run sequences, portions to see how they test with audiences.
I guess. We really have no idea what's going on, though.
Yeah.
What's more interesting is there's chaos going on at the Disney parks as well with the Snow White characters. You sent me this. Reportedly, a biological male is playing the evil queen at one of the Disney parks.
Yep.
A father reached out to that park place saying that the evil queen character was played by what appeared to be a biological male at Artist Point in Disney's Wilderness Lodge Resort.
I mean, this
so
is
here's
not
his
anything
statement.
new from what I've seen, from what the comments were saying from people who regularly frequent the parks, that this isn't anything new.
It's not new for like trans people to be cast members, no. But for them to have it in a character, not just a cast member, it's a different story, especially because they're obviously interacting with children. Here was his statement. He said, "We were waiting for desserts to come out and received our invitation to meet the evil queen, which we really looked forward to. We walked over toward the evil queen area, and while my kids and wife were interacting with the character, I was taking videos from 10 feet away. It was kind of loud inside, so I couldn't really hear what the character was saying until I got face to face. And then it hit me that the evil queen, without a doubt, had a man's voice, and you can see in the picture it's plausible.
Yeah.
So according to the father, he stands at a very average height, but was towered over by the person playing the evil queen, as can be seen in the photo."
Doesn't that seem kind of fitting, though?
Yes.
Plus they're the bad
guys. That makes sense. But he said the person playing the character spoke with a male presenting voice, and the father was displeased at the strange representation of a female character and asked to speak to the manager. He went Karen mode. He said, "I told my waiter that I had a problem with something. He then asked what the issue was, and I simply stated I have a problem with the evil queen being a man dressed in drag. He went to get the manager, and he looked extremely panicked." He said he wanted to formally complain about the evil queen being a man. He felt disrespected by Disney because this is not the sort of thing my family values, and they didn't give us any notice that this would be a possibility.
I mean, how would they do that?
And he said, I stated we are a conservative Christian family. I'm spending $8,000 on this current trip, in addition to tens of thousands I've spent together in the past at Walt Disney World and Disney Cruises, and this is just not right. But the manager just listened and never once apologized for anything. He stated, I can assure you that she is a woman. Yeah. He went even further, the manager, went even further, trying to shame me, informing me that she was so excited to get the part as the evil queen. I thought briefly, oh, maybe I'm wrong, but then I realized I was just being gaslighted. I politely told the manager that I know what you're doing, and I do not appreciate the fact that you're trying to be funny and disingenuous. The manager doubled down. I also doubled down and asked, is the evil queen a biological male? And the manager's reply was, I'm sorry, sir, I cannot answer that. But I think the real issue here is that, you know, you're a conservative Christian family, you have these traditional family values. Why are you spending literally tens of thousands of dollars to put it straight in the pocket of Disney? Why would you do that?
I don't know the history of the family. I don't know if this is one of those things where maybe they just don't know about the culture war aspect that Disney's going through right now.
This guy knows that Park Place exists.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure he knows what's going on.
So this was a comment underneath. It says, sorry, but this is actually not new or unknown. Men have been playing villains for a long time because of their angular face shapes make them look more evil like the characters, and their height. I knew this over 15 years ago when I was considering to apply for Maleficent. And then under that, WDW Pro, which, by the way, guys, if you want people that cover Disney very, very well and, you know, very, very regularly, it's their whole bread and butter. I do recommend checking out WDW Pro, that Park Place. It's really, really good.
Can we
it says, I've only ever, video? Yeah, but this is what he says. I've only ever seen it in shows like Fantasmic, where it was at a distance and the guests don't interact. I've never heard of the evil queen being played by a biological male before, but we can play this.
Clearly looks like a drag queen.
You are my favorite evil queen. Oh my god!
I'm also my favorite. We have so much fun.
You are my favorite.
Yeah, that's definitely a dude.
Okay. So, you know, it's
but also the manager would probably have gotten fired for saying something about the employee.
The manager would never have. There was no response other than the one they got that they were going to get from that manager.
Right.
That was exactly what they were going to get.
It's also against their character integrity rules, right? Which we're going to bring up now, because there is a rumor, now debunked, that Snow White is getting removed as a character from all the parks. That is not true. It comes from this one girl who played Snow White at the parks recently getting fired because she was posting content on her personal Instagram page in costume, which is expressly against their rules.
It breaks the immersion of the character if you give a name and identity to a character that's being played.
Yeah, she says that this was over a picture that she posted of herself as a little girl wearing a Snow White costume.
The problem is that picture was posted on March 19th, and that was the one that they used in evidence, but there were pictures long before that, and if you go to her Instagram profile, there's a lot of pictures of her in costume. This one's from March 1st. These videos, which are also backstage videos without express permission from Disney, are also a big no-no.
So now that she's fired, she called Disney the rodent park.
I love it.
Seems like she wasn't that big of a fan.
That's what I'm saying. So this is what's disingenuous, right? Is when someone's like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I got this job. This is a great job. And then you get fired and you're like, oh, F these people anyways. It's another thing to be like, I've loved Disney my whole life. I adore Disney.
This is my dream.
This is my dream. And then you get fired and then you're like, F you.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be that slingshot.
Right.
If anything, it should be your soul should be a little bit more crushed.
Well, what are they worried about? Kids going on, like, finding her Instagram and realizing that Snow White isn't real?
I mean, yeah.
I guess
kind of. I mean, it's the same thing as Marvel getting suing or trying to make that guy take the Spider-Man off of the grave. It's about protecting the IP. Mm-hmm. You know?
Well, I just think that having a man play the evil queen is it's basically equivalent to taking your kid to a drag show. You might think I'm taking that a little too far, but that's just my conclusion about it. I think it's inappropriate.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those things where like it's almost like a bait and switch.
It's
like,
a drag performance.
Yeah, it tricks you into it.
It is. Yeah.
But it's, I was looking at this stuff and I said, what's the funnier angle on all this? I think the funnier angle on all this is if the Daily Wire version ends up coming out first and being better. I just was looking at what was going on with it. I love these fake videos so just 3 days ago,
The AI thumbnails.
like three days ago, a bunch of journalism started happening again where they're talking about announcements for the Daily Wire Snow White movie as if it was new.
Right.
But it's not new. I mean, this mini trailer was made like in November or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it was in 2022 that they put out
This
the trailer,
was posted
right?
6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So I
okay.
thought it was like November that this
Okay,
came out.
yeah.
But so I love going down through this with the fake ones. My favorite, if you want to see fake trailers and fake thumbnails, is Screen Culture. But look at it looks perfect right there.
Amazing.
Right? That one. You go down through it. Now they've got these ones. Where's the one here where it makes it it's supposed to look as if they're fighting each other?
Like they're on a Zoom call. They're
Yeah.
on like a FaceTime call yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Brett Cooper and Rachel Zegler are like duking it out on a Zoom call.
And what it is like they've set this all up as like a scheme to get eyes on both of their properties. And Rachel Zegler is just playing the heel, and Brett Cooper is just playing the baby face. It's a pro wrestling angle.
Yeah. Maybe they could both benefit from this situation.
I suppose the biggest loser in all this is Gal Gadot, who's beautiful and tall, and she's like, "Look, why is everybody causing problems for the evil queen now? Give me a break. I haven't even portrayed the character yet."
The evil queen in the original animated film, I know that she was kind of crudely animated, but it seemed she was supposed to be still a conventionally attractive villain, which is contrasted with like her as the witch, obviously. But that was the ironic part, is that she wanted to be the fairest of them all when she was already very beautiful.
I don't know. Like, is that how she's
That's
portrayed?
what it seemed to
she's
me.
just greedy.
That's what it seemed
She's
to me
greedy.
in the movie, yeah.
Yeah. They're saying, what would their finishing moves be? What would Brett Cooper's finishing wrestling move be? I wish we could ask her.
Maybe they just throw apples at each other.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
I think that would be a better idea.
She hits her in the head like with an apple.
Knockout. Knockout.
Or like certain wrestlers, they would use like the brass knuckles to cheat. She cheats with like a fake apple, like a set prop apple that's actually like really, really hard and just hits him.
You know, if you look back at the animated film, it really is impressive what they did with it. Yeah, for the time.
I was watching this video the other day. We were talking about how they felt it was a shame that Wish, being Disney's 100th anniversary movie, should have been 2D animation, and they should have gone back to traditional 2D animation for that.
The CGI is just starting to look so predictable and so cheap. There was also something weird they did with it. There was some effect that they put on it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, it didn't look right to me.
There was
a
something
lot
off.
of it looked unfinished.
It looked
to
like
me.
a Disney Plus movie.
It wasn't.
Looks like something that shouldn't go in theaters.
So we'll have to wait and see where it goes with these movies, but that's going to be one that we'll end up reviewing for sure. I think. What do we have next? We have Fall Guy on the 26th, 25th coming up.
It's coming up, yeah.
That's like the only one that I've seen other people be excited about, other than maybe Deadpool and Wolverine, and people were mad at us for not being excited about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well,
because it's like, and that's not
they'll
to say
live.
that, no, the thing is, like, the point is, like, that's not to say that I won't like the movie. I just don't think it will save the MCU, nor will it save Disney as a whole.
No, it's gonna save the MCU. You're wrong, Brett.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.